I forgot to do a video um, um, for that lady at Divine Journey. I remembered, so I didn't really forget. She mentioned about the 1,000 years in the Bible and about the three time vector. You know, the number three. Three is one, and one is three. You know, that's why 21, 21st chromosome, 2 and 1. Okay, 2 plus 1 is 3. Right. We have H, which is hydrogen. Right. So you have one electron and one proton that's equal in mass. That's weight. Right. Mass spectrometry. This is where I share things that I've learned by things that I've done or things that I've experienced and how it works. So in other words, I experience the way that I experience what it is that I am an energy, right? As an oversoul polarity integrator that can be translated through the circulation library of what I learned and experienced by virtue of being connected to others that are experiencing what they're experiencing. I become aware of through them how we use certain words to define what it is that we experience. It is the underlying causality of elementals in this place, an element. H is an element, right? Okay, so it's known as a noble element, which is a noble gas. Now you get into the chemistry of altered states, what it's like to experience being a gas versus being a liquid, or being in a frozen state, you know, or being the spirit of fire, right? So now you get into the spirit of fire, you get into the spirit of what? Wind, earth, wind, fire, and water, right? So you realize that we're all of that. Now you're on the 4 arrows of the compass, which is the center point of a magnetosphere. So the magnetosphere is in balance. That means that the poles are in balance. That means that the pressure system between low and high pressure and what's known as the thermal gradients means that the voltage regulator, which is your thermostat, Mercury, is in balance. 96. 9.6 is what? 15D. That's atmospherics. Okay, now we're back to 3. So chromosome 21 is your immune system. Now we're back to acid and alkaline. And now we're back to the exchange rate of speed. Now we're back to metabolites or electrolytes, or the relationship that electric has with what? Magnetic light. Now we're back to sound patterns and light patterns, right? Which is music, which is the math and the precision of that. So when the precision of all the math of everything that's going on is experiencing perfect balance, in the sphere, which is the star, the center point of that star, its consciousness is in perfect balance. That means that there are 0 distortions in the waves. That means that you're running a clear radio channel. That means that there isn't any radio signal interference. That means that you know how to run a frequency modulator to maintain your antenna booming scalar waves. They're in balance. That means you've learned how to be a real living star tuner. Self-tuning the waves. That's what a polarity integrator is. Is naturally self-tuning the waves. So there is a clear channel to open up a gate. Okay? That's a gate operator. That's what the angelic original human DNA blueprint. You know what a blueprint is, right? A template. Just like go to any drafting table where there are templates, right? You know how to use a compass to draw circles, small ones, big ones. Small circles, big circles. Or you can draw a triangle, or you can, all the different geometric shapes, right, that represent the templates. I worked with a lot of those when I was a kid. You know, used to love to work with all that stuff, right? You want to design a house, want to design an airplane, want to design anything. Now we're back into creative imagination. Now we're into a video that I talked about, which was creative intelligence. And I can tell you from experience what drives the highest intelligence. Okay? And that's the creative side of creation itself. It's on fire to experience more of what it is in energy, which is what love is, to create a greater diversity of possibilities that it has never experienced before. So that's your holographic speed. So you're experiencing something new all the time, right? And so that's the artist, musician in us, an original musician. So we're not making copies of nothing, right? It means you ran out of ideas. So you realize that the highest intelligence is the highest mathematician, because that oversoul spirit is on fire to create. That means that God, the first God consciousness, is on fire to create more of what it becomes aware of, that it's giving love to, which becomes what? The image maker, the filmmaker, the producer and the director, the screenwriter and the author of its own journey. It's experiencing all the differences that exist, that are possible to experience out there, into the one. And so you realize that I'm not three, I'm one. Okay? And that's a single pole. That's a monad, a monopole. I'm a monopole. The single point from which it all began. Right? And so the way I've described this before, this is sort of an answer to the lady at Divine Journey when she asked me on this, when I did a hard reset, right? Which is to say, you cannot fool the one. Okay? When you are choosing of your own free will to be a cosmic level server, okay, it means that you have to have the ability of every unit of consciousness that is represented by what you are in consciousness, that you are connected with, which represents what you are as an energy identity, as an oversoul, an avatar mind, if you will, a cosmic level mind, or a cosmic level spirit, or a cosmic level creator being, that you are making a commitment. As a matter of fact, what I experienced was being on fire to do what? Not ever hold one electron captive, ever. Not ever. So that there is never going to be any argument, ever, about who I am. Okay? That means I am always in service, forever, gifting electrons. Because I refuse to hang on to a single one from which it has not been healed, in order to do what? Heal others. That's an eternal sun. That's a single point from which it all began. That's a one. That's a law of one. I'm a one. What I call myself. I'm a one. I'm another one. Right? So now we're back to H2, right? The electron, the proton, and the neutron, the cycle in perfect balance. So now we're thinking of a single cell that becomes what? Multicellular. Now we're going from single cell to multi-cell to multi-dimensional and multi-density. So when you see a cross, right, it's pretty simple. The center point of a bullseye, right, on a vertical and a horizontal stabilizer, right? You want that ball, that basketball, to be in balance, right? You want to go shoot some hoops? That's a ball, isn't it? That's a sphere. Right? And I mentioned before in the past, let all the air out of the balloon. Right? Decompression. Right? Those that know what decompression is, compression and expansion, breathing in and breathing out and breathing in and breathing out. We're in a living and a breathing, living planet. That's known as a breath of aloha, which is a breath of love, which is a breath of sound and light. Connected forever, gifting electrons at a very high rate of speed. so that nobody is experiencing any loss of what? Voltage, plasma. Okay. Which means you're getting all the energy that you need to experience what you are in energy, which is what love is. So you're experiencing being loved. Being loved. That's a beloved. I know. I know. It's I know. It's uh be good to yourselves.